Welcome to the Student Voice on Air, a radio show written, hosted, edited, and produced by journalism and FTVM students at Moorpark College. The focus is on current news and issues, along with informative interviews. I'm your host, Steven Suarez, and on this week's edition, we will be featuring Francisco Molina and Andrew Mason. You're listening to 101.5 KMCJ Moorpark College Jams. Let's get started with Francisco on campus news.
How's it going, guys?
It's going good.
Back from Thanksgiving break, man.
Exactly.
I feel like this chair can barely hold me right now.
Lots of stuffing.
Yeah, man. So let's get started, all right? What do you think?
Yeah, I heard you got us a little update on some gym remodeling that's going on here at Moorpark.
I do. So for those who don't know, our gymnasium, otherwise known as Moorpark Pavilion.
Raider Pavilion.
Pavilion. See, I need Andrew here. We'll be going under a remodel in what is estimated to take place in the next 2.5 years.
2.5 years?
Yeah, so
okay.
I talked to John Sinetka, who is the president of operations and here at Moorpark College, and he's in charge of this event. He's looking at the plans. He's looking at how much it's costing, who's in charge of this. And this is a serious project. It's an estimated $10 million.
$10 million?
$10 million.
Okay, I didn't even know we had that money, but
hey,
all
man,
right, awesome.
I would complain, but look at our classrooms. We're in good shape in this.
Yeah, the academic center,
so,
that's awesome.
Yeah, so it's time for the gym to get a new look.
Yeah,
some items that will be getting remodeled are the bleachers, the locker rooms. There's like an underground basketball.
Ooh, like the practice facility,
yeah,
right?
practice facility. The scoreboard, that's going to get all remodeled and stuff. And the demolition is estimated to take place next year. So he's hoping to have like a swing space, a place where all the people who use the gym can go to while the construction is being built.
Like
so we're going to be looking at stuff a year from now. That's when you're going to see the exterior of it being remodeled.
Sweet, and that should be finished in about 2.5 years?
2.5 years is the estimate. Obviously, with these projects, you never know when.
So we're going to miss it.
Yes, sadly. I just thought about that.
Actually,
we'll
I'm
come
kind
back.
of happy.
We're going to come back for that alumni basketball game.
We'll be back.
We'll be back. But, good for the school, good for the students, and it's going to help out with recruiting.
Definitely.
All right, well, now off to another help for us, Associated students. Just a quick update for you guys.
All right.
Well, last week we had President Teresita Rios talking a little bit about the dogs and the therapy dogs that will be here for finals week. Well, that's going to be their first project they're working on. They're going to have the therapy dogs. So if you guys are stressed out, go pet a dog and ace that final. What do you think, man?
Yeah, watch last week's podcast for that.
And another thing that they really want to work on is the cafeteria.
Ooh, wait, we have a cafeteria?
Yeah, that building that says cafeteria is actually a cafeteria. Yeah. So the Associated Students and President Sanchez both agree we need a better cafeteria. At the end of the day,
we do.
There's no food in there. It's only vending machines.
That's what I've heard. I've never been in there, but I heard it's only vending machines.
How long have you been here?
First semester.
That's right.
Yeah, we'll let it pass. But they really want to improve the cafeteria, so they're hoping to refurbish it and remodel it and serve some actual food for the students. You know?
Right.
They're going to help the students out in need and hunger, because you can only have the same thing so many times, So they're hoping to have.
There's so many 99-cent granola bars you can buy from.
And they're also trying to have
99 cents. Try like $1.50.
And it's going to be a place where students can cook actual food. They can get food that's actually cooked instead of just microwaved. And another thing for them is that they want to help out students who need help in their transportation.
Okay, so AS, they're focusing on transportation
Associated students, they're hoping to increase a discount for Moorpark local Moorpark students that take the bus to school. Not everyone has a car.
So there's a discount right now.
There is. Currently, the discount is at 30% off, right?
For Moorpark College students?
Exactly.
For bus passes?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're trying to raise it up another 20%, so it can be a total of 50%. So, I don't know about you guys, but I've taken the bus a couple times, and that means a lot. The fact that they're thinking about these students, not everyone's fortunate to have a car, maybe their situation's a little different, but it's nice to see that Associated Students is out there caring for these students, and they're not forgotten, They're just...
That is great,
and they're helping them out, and transportation is key. How are you going to get to school,
And it's good to know our money's going to a good place.
Exactly. And I'm going to switch it off to you, Andrew. You got a quick announcement for us?
Quick reminder on the Extreme Raider Challenge that we talked about a couple shows ago. Reminder that is this Saturday, December 3rd, starting at 1 p.m. This is a 5th annual student-run obstacle course put on by the Flex Club. And guys, this is for a good cause. It's to raise money for the club as well as to donate to worthy causes as they have done in the past years of the event. All athletic levels are encouraged. It's not too late to sign up, guys. Takes place on the athletics field down at the Hill, so be sure to check that out. That's definitely a fun time.
Oh yeah, that seems like a lot of fun, and I've seen the people out there in Raider Walk, and they're really friendly people. So don't feel nervous to approach them and ask them any questions.
Awesome. So next up, on how to combat final stress with the one and only Allison Barton, health educator from Student Health Center. We've had her on the show a few times. Leslie Kivett, a regular fan favorite on the show, actually conducted a pre-recorded interview with Allison on how to combat final stress in her office. Here it is, guys.
Good morning, Allison. Thank you so much for getting some time aside for us and doing this interview for us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me to do this.
Yeah. Listeners will notice the audio quality is different. We're sitting in Allison's office because, well, we just figured it'd be more comfy. No, we didn't have time to record it later today. So, finals are coming up.
Yes, they are.
And I probably didn't need to announce that to anyone. I'm sure everyone's very aware. I'm very aware. My photo editor is very aware. What can you tell me about the sort of things that the health center does to sort of combat the stress of finals week?
Well, we do a lot of things. Actually, we do a lot of things all year long to combat stress because stress is the leading health complaint of our students here, according to our student health survey that we do every 3 years. It's always the top of the list. And so what do we do? Well, as you know, we have psychological counseling available for students right here, 6 free sessions per semester, so that's always available. We have a free coloring area actually in the open area of the admin building right outside my office.
We mentioned this in the podcast, I think, last week or a week and a half ago, and we didn't really know what was going on with it, but yeah, there's in the student health center, there's just a table with coloring pencils and...
In the open space.
In the open space.
In the open space in the admin building, yeah. So there's actually quite a few studies. They're not huge studies. They're little studies about the efficacy of using coloring to de-stress people.
Yeah.
And
I do it. Yeah.
Right. No, it's a great, it's a great strategy. Generally speaking, it takes about 20 minutes to have a full effect. And we have...
Wow, there's like stats to it.
Oh, no, for sure. There's even what the design is. And,
wow.
And then different age groups have different strategies that work better. For example, for little children, the Mancala drawing, so the even kind of symmetrical, sort of complicated drawing. Yeah, they're kind of, exactly. So those ones are very effective for both boys and girls that are school age. But for boys, it's actually more stress relieving to free draw.
Oh,
but
okay.
When you get to be college age, that no longer is the case.
Yeah,
the free drawing and and making your own Mancala doesn't work either. It has to be something that you fill in the lines because it's not a lot of kind of stressful decision making. I guess it's just following the lines, and it's very soothing.
That's great. I mean, I really liked that. So,
good.
You're gonna do workshops and sort of outreach events for.
So we're doing. So another thing that we do always, just to get back on that, is mindfulness training. And I just want to make sure everybody do a big shout out for mindfulness training online through the Student Health Center web page. You could do that, but we also have in person. That's Mondays at 1 and Tuesdays at 3 in the Fountain Hall Conference room, room 112A. Those are free and anybody could come anytime. But in particular, this week we're doing a finals stress anxiety outreach in Fountain Hall today and tomorrow, 10 to 3 both days. And we offer tips on reducing stress anxiety. And then next week we're participating with all the student services to do a big de-stress event. So they're going to be like little pods of de-stress events all over campus. We'll have our coloring, of course. We'll have something going on in Fountain Hall. And there are just going to be events all over the place. So look for that on the portal. And then the week after that, we do our final stress, where we have our stress bars, and we just talk about stress relieving strategies for students as they cope with finals.
Well, that's That sounds really great. How can students prepare themselves today for test anxiety rather than the night before?
So, first of all, doing it today instead of the night before is a huge thing. So, going to all the rest of your classes, taking good notes. Professors often do a review before exams. Be there for that.
Yeah.
Study now. Start your studying now. The night before the test, get a good night's sleep instead of cramming. Make sure you eat breakfast in the morning of your final. Very important. We always say park far away from your final and take a long walk to it to get some exercise. That jogs your brain a little bit too.
Yeah, I park down at Campus Park every day.
Nice. So that's great. I'm going to give you an A+ for that. Nice. So there are lots of things to do on the day of and at the time of as well.
Yeah.
But those are the things that you can do to prepare in advance.
Okay.
And those are the things that we'll be talking about in our outreach today.
Are there any types of specific nutritional advice? You said eat breakfast, but what
We
should
always
people be
say
having?
nutritious, so the breakfast the day of, for sure, it should be nutritious food for starters, instead of, a candy bar and a, Red Bull.
Yeah.
But, and nobody got to see my eye roll just now, but
Yeah,
I
tremendous
definitely
eye roll.
did that. It was
Yeah.
good. It was like teenager caliber eye roll.
Yeah, A+.
Thank you. But so not a huge breakfast because if there's too much food in there, it takes the blood flow away from the brain and brings it to the gut.
Oh, okay.
So you want to have a good, like some fruit, maybe a little toast, or just like 3 food groups, if you will, like fruits and vegetables, maybe a protein or something like
Okay.
that. So a balanced meal.
Yeah.
And a protein is good, like a milk or a egg or something
usually
like
go
that,
for
because
milk,
it
yeah.
carries you free. It keeps you feeling satisfied for a little bit longer.
Right.
A little carbohydrate in there is a good idea because that's what gets to the brain, right? So all of those things are good ideas, but I wouldn't suggest, chips and a beer or
No,
whatever.
probably don't drink on
Not a
campus
good
either.
not a good idea. Well, hopefully. I'm assuming some people eat breakfast before they get on campus anyway, so.
I don't.
Oh,
I walk here, but I don't eat breakfast.
got it.
I think that's about covers it. Are there any final tips or something that maybe you don't talk about much or people don't ask about much? Is there any, just small tip from yourself personally on how people can sort of manage their stress?
I just really think that, living a very regular, calm sort of life. I mean, that sounds
I talked
stupid.
about
That sounds,
scheduling
it sounds
before.
like very trite, but yeah.
But having a consistent schedule.
Having
keeps
a
you in rhythm.
really consistent schedule keeps you in rhythm. Having a regular sleep schedule, very important, even over the weekends, if you can sleep. A lot of students can't sleep 8 hours a night, but they can sleep 5 or 6. If you
Yeah.
could just do that the same time every night,
Yeah.
that would make you feel way less tired. And inability to sleep, insomnia is another really common health complaint of
Yeah, I
our
imagine.
students here too. So if you could do that, that would be really helpful.
Well, thank you so much, Allison Barton.
You're listening to 1015 KMCJ Moorpark College Jams. I'm Steven Suarez, and this is the Student Voice on Air, a program about what's happening here at Moorpark College. Let's turn to Andrew and Francisco for the latest updates on Moorpark College Raiders campus sports.
All right. Thank you very much, Stephen. So I'm going to start us off with women's volleyball. Fortunately, we have some sad news, but it's bittersweet news. Let's get started. Unfortunately, our team, women's volleyball, came up a little short and was eliminated from the playoffs this past Saturday, November 26th. For those who don't remember, this was the second round of the playoffs for our Raiders after they got the upset win over the 4th seed Maricosta in the first round. Moorpark College came into the game on Saturday, the number 13th seed, against Cypress College, who owned the number 5 seed. We lost the game by a score of 3-1, but hey, there's light at the end of this tunnel. We finished with an impressive 17-9 on the season, 6-2 in conference, Francisco.
Yes. I gotta say, this was nothing but short of a successful season. Our women's volleyball team played their heart out each game, and I don't know, I just had the positive vibe from this team.
Same.
You know? When the players came to interview,
Yeah, we interviewed
they
two
seemed
of the
really
players.
close to each other, and I think that's the reason why they had such a successful season this year.
And so some top performers from the season, looking back on it, No surprise, sophomore co-captain, my personal favorite, Cindy Norris, finished with the team high 249 kills.
249?
Yeah, but even slightly more impressive, in my opinion, Rebecca Sexton, a sophomore as well, gave out 820 assists over the season.
No.
Yeah, I did the calculation on that. That's almost 10 assists per set.
Very impressive.
And something, to me, the saddest part about all this is this means Coach Steve Burkhart, head coach for the women's volleyball team, who we had on a few weeks ago, has officially retired. But I did see him on campus this morning, so that's good news.
He's still around, not completely gone yet. But hey, what a great way to go out. What a great way to end your career as a head volleyball coach.
Mm-hmm. So that's a wrap for the women's volleyball season. It was fun to watch them.
What can you tell us about soccer, Andrew?
All right, so here's some quick updates from the other teams. We're looking at women's soccer, a very similar story, a sad story. Eliminated from the second round of the playoffs, just like the women's volleyball team. But along the same road, there are positives looking back on the season. Our women's soccer team won their second Western State Conference title in a row, finishing with a conference record of 8-1-1. Advanced to the playoffs, where they then defeated San Diego Miramar in the first round. However, came up short to a very talented number 1 ranked Cerritos College, who did put up 26 goals against one team earlier this season.
In soccer. This is not basketball where each basket counts as 2. This is soccer where it's 1 goal equals 1 point. For them to do that 26 times against a team.
Yeah, so we lost 6-3 to this team. Not too big of a deal. We finished 14-5-4 overall in the season, posting 12 shutouts in 23 games, and I was told that's actually 7th best in state.
Wow.
You know what I find most impressive about this team is that they started off real slow, but then they kept that momentum going and defended their title.
Definitely. They finished the season off strong. Moving on, we got a quick men's basketball update for you guys. The team currently sits at 2-4 on the season and has had some time off since we last saw them at the El Camino tournament a couple weekends back. And you know what? I think this break is what they needed, because right now they're heading off to a 3-day, 3-game tournament at Grossmont College this weekend. Good luck to the boys out there. Moving on to women's basketball, slightly more action on their part. For the second week in a row, Francisco, our women's basketball team found themselves as consolation champions in the tournament, this time the LA Mission tournament. We had an early loss in the first game to Skagit Valley, which is actually a community college from Washington, state of Washington. We lost to them 58-38. We were able to turn things around and bounce back, defeating San Diego Mesa 57-43, and finally our neighbors from not too far away, Oxnard College 59-52, to take home the consolation champion crown once again. So our women are off to a nice start, aren't they, Francisco?
I think so. I'll take this record. They're 5-4. They're over 500. They're looking good. I mean, they're back-to-back consolation winners, so you got to end those tournaments in a positive note, and I think they're going to get a solid season up ahead of them.
Yeah, and they have only a handful of games in December because of holidays and everything, so we got lots of time to practice, get some rest before the real deal conference play starts for both our men's and women's team in January. So yeah, honestly, a 5-4 start at this stage in the season, that's something to be proud of. That's something you can get momentum going into the holidays. Then boom, right when 2017 begins, that's when the grind starts.
And if they keep their workouts going, that's when you can distinguish the difference between a team who's really committed to a team who just wants to play. If they keep this momentum going during this holiday break, which is kind of difficult to do, I understand. But if they stay together and keep their workouts going, I think they're gonna have a real good season.
Me too. All right, guys, and lastly for our campus sports this week, we have a sport that we have not talked much about this semester. It's actually our men's and women's cross-country team. Both men's and women's teams wrapped up their season a few days ago at state championships at Woodward Park in Fresno. Overall finished a modest 18th out of 28 teams. Some of the highlights: sophomore Jake Eisler shaved 55 seconds off his 2015 state meet time to lead the Raiders. On the women's side, sophomore Emma Fleming saw a 40-second improvement over last year's time to pave the way for Moorpark College. However, not much time to recover for some of these athletes, as many of them will be competing in track and field season beginning shortly after the holiday break. But with us here today, we have the one and only Emma Fleming from Women's Cross Country to talk about this past season. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Awesome. So where did this passion for running originate? Did you run in high school, or how long have you been running for?
Yeah, well, I have been running basically since middle school.
Since middle school?
Yeah, I come from a family of athletes.
Ooh.
So running is basically just being kind of like normal, and athletics has always been something that we do. So running in college has always been my goal, and I love it.
Awesome. So how long was the race that you took place in the state championships?
It was a 5K, which is 3.1 miles.
Awesome. And what was your final time, if you remember?
Oh, it was 1940 something.
Wow.
Nice.
For over 3 miles?
Yeah.
Wow. That's like Francisca. No,
Oh yeah, that's like equivalent to 1 mile for me.
Say it takes me 10 minutes to walk like half a mile.
So you shed 40 seconds off your 2015 state championship time
Yeah.
for the same run. How were you able to do that?
Well, last year I was there by myself, had the team there supporting me, but this year, since the whole team went, having them behind me and knowing that we're all racing definitely helps.
Like that team camaraderie.
Yeah.
Huh?
And like, I think that, I don't know, maybe just my dedication this year has been better. So
Great,
better in
great.
the end.
So 19 minutes, although you ran that pretty quickly, that's still a decent amount of time to just be running. How are you able to stay in the zone during that whole race?
Wow, it's difficult. Definitely is. It's the mental game is the hardest part about racing such a long distance. So going from like starting the race, you feel great, and then like the first last couple miles, just like you just want to get to the end. But it's definitely, I try to stay focused on the end goal, which is to do the best I can, and I spent a lot of time praying.
All right. On.
I need the strength, yeah.
So, what kind of things do you just think about when you're just running? Do you just try to think the randomest thoughts so your mind doesn't know that you're running? Is
Yeah,
that
or
it?
are you focusing on breathing? Like, what are you thinking about?
Well, I actually don't really know. My mind kind of just goes blank. Like, the best thing for me is to not think about anything. Sometimes I get annoying songs stuck in my head, and that's just the worst. But other than that, like, my mind goes blank, and I just want to just running.
Right.
Yeah.
Dang.
So, what's that runner's high like? Do you know what that is when you're
Yeah.
just on the zone?
I've gotten that a couple of times. Never during a race, during practice.
Ah.
I know, right? But it's indescribable, like that feeling. You can go forever. It's like that's like why I run.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So this past time, the one that got you the lead in the state championships for Moorpark College, was that the best time you've ever recorded for this race?
I'm one of the worst at remembering my times. Like the runners, you normally think that they're like always on top of their times, but I find that for me it's best to just like kind of forget it.
Just take
Just
each
go.
race by itself.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah.
But it's one of my better times this season. Yeah.
Wow.
So, last championships last year, you were the only one from Moorpark College, right? Now, this year, you came back. You already knew the experience. You already knew what to expect. Did you kind of feel like you had a leadership role with all these people, with all your teammates that have never done this before?
Yeah, definitely. It's like I feel like I have to kind of show them the ropes of everything, and like kind of hopefully lead them to a good spot in the race. And I love that. I love being looked up to. Not that I am better than all of them. I'm definitely not. They're all having a team is the best thing ever, but being able to show them like
Right.
it's possible is the best
It's
thing.
awesome.
So you were talking about earlier, you come from a family of runners. Running, being athletic is in your blood. Your time here at Moorpark is done, although you are partaking in track season coming up after the holidays. But what's next for you college-wise with respect to running? Are you going to hope to run cross-country for a 4-year university?
Yeah, that's the plan. Hopefully.
That's the plan? What's the process with that? Have you started any recruiting? Have you contacted any coaches, anything like that?
Yeah, coaches, I'm definitely gonna. It's like my dream to compete for Baylor University.
Baylor?
Yeah.
That's the goal? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
in Texas, right?
So I hopefully talk to the coach some more, but
Wow.
I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe we'll send him this podcast. It could be the deciding decision.
So, I got to know, though. I got to know. What running shoes do you choose? Are you more Asics, Adidas, Nike? What brand do you like rocking when you're running?
I'm all over the place. For trainers, I go Brooks. Flats and spikes, I have either Brooks or Adidas. And then I'm actually doing New Balance lately.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Get you, Nike.
So, quickly before we let you go, are you excited for track season? What events are you planning to do?
Definitely. I'm stoked for track season. It's I love the 800 and the 1500. Sadly, my coaches want me to do the 10K, which is like 24 laps around the track.
So that's longer than your cross country
Oh, yeah.
nowadays. Oh,
So it'll be interesting. I'll try it. I'll be okay.
awesome. Well, thank you very much for joining us here today.
Thank
Good
you,
luck with
guys.
track season. Have a good holiday.
Yeah,
You
and
too, right?
Hopefully get that Baylor recruit.
Yeah, get that Baylor.
Yeah,
recruit. Let
please.
us know.
Best
Thank
of
you.
luck. Thank you so much. This is 1015 KMCJ Moorpark College Jams. I'm Steven Suarez, and this is the Student Voice on Air. Here's Andrew with entertainment news.
All right, thank you, Steven.
You're
we
welcome.
we got some exciting stuff happening in and around campus.
What we got?
So we got a plethora of fun, exciting events going on in and around campus this week. First off, Improv at Club M show is taking place Thursday, December 8th in the Communication Building, room 129. So what Improv at Club M is basically an improv comedy show with music, all performed by Moorpark College students. And what's interesting about this is Moorpark College music, theater arts, and also our friends at FTVM are all teaming up to put this Club M event on.
Is there a certain theme to this? I know Christmas time is right around the corner.
Yes, exactly. So director of the theater arts side of things, Professor John Loprino, says that he chose the theme Christmas Zombies, actually based off what the fall theater arts main stage show was, as we all remember, Night of the Living Dead. How could we forget?
Never can get enough of Night of the Living Dead.
So he mixed the fall theater arts main stage show with the current season. There you go, Christmas Zombies. And for those who don't know, an improv show, it's basically either a drama or in this case comedy show, sometimes with music, in which the content is created and performed spontaneously without any preparation or rehearsal.
Basically,
Nice.
this show.
Ooh.
I'm joking. We put a lot of effort into making this show as good as it is.
So Improv at Club M will feature 10 total performers, 10 total actors from theater arts department. But something that I really like is that all different walks of Moorpark College entertainment are behind the show. We're talking FTVM, music, and theater arts. So it's going to be awesome. Interesting to see how they collaborate to pull off an awesome
And
show.
is this here in Moorpark College? Where is this taking place?
Yeah, so it's December 8th at 7:30. That's a Thursday in the Communication Building, room 129, the TV studio here in the
Okay.
Com Building.
It's always lots of fun.
So moving on to an off-campus event. This is something that caught my eye. It's the 67th annual Christmas tree lighting on Friday, December 2nd in the city of Oxnard. And the reason that I decided to highlight this is because, like, my girlfriend, she lives in Boston, and we were talking like, hey, what are you up to today? This was a few weeks ago. And she said she was going to a Christmas tree lighting. And to be honest, I was like, what are you going to? Like,
That's something you see like in the 80s.
yeah, or like I didn't even know what that was. I didn't know what that meant. So I did a little research on it. And what it is, it's basically when a community comes together, celebrates, kind of like a countdown to Christmas, and they light up a Christmas tree with a ton of lights.
Oh, with lights.
Yeah,
Not
I thought
fire.
it was fire, too.
Oh gosh, guys, come on now.
So when I was doing this research, I found out Oxnard, they've been doing this for quite some time, 66 years. This will be the
Wow.
67th. And this tree lighting ceremony, it's been a special ritual for the city of Oxnard. It's taking place at Oxnard's downtown square in Plaza Park, located at 500 South C Street.
I wonder how big the tree is.
Well, Francisco, this year's Christmas tree is 110 feet tall and is the largest tree that is planned to come here to Ventura County this Christmas.
Oh, wow.
Topped off with more than 30,000 lights. The
Sheesh.
event begins at 5:30, wraps up at 8 p.m. All ages are welcome, of course. And Francisco, the best part of this whole thing is...
What is it, man?
It's free.
Yes.
So for more information, check it out at www.downtownoxnard.org. It's going to be an awesome time. I actually want to go to this. This is
Yeah,
something
and
that was
we
cool.
save money because, you know, this is where our bank accounts get mad at us.
So save some money. Go get in the holiday spirit. Christmas tree lighting.
Reminds me of How the Grinch Stole Christmas. You know, they're all at the end. And
I was thinking
Yeah,
Charlie
exactly.
Brown.
It's gonna
I was
turn
thinking
like
more of a
that.
Charlie Brown kind of when they all start singing in a circle.
So, guys, that's Friday, December 2nd, starting at 5:30 p.m. Quickly, before we go on to bring on our interview for entertainment, I got some quick on-campus reminders. Student 1X begin Wednesday, November 30th in the PAC. Completely student-run, all the way from casting to acting to even set design, costumes. It's a chance to really see what our theater arts students are made of. There's 2 separate shows, Bill A and Bill B, both beginning on November 30th and run various dates until December 10th. So check it out. And lastly, Holiday Lights. We talked about it a couple weeks ago.
Yes, sir.
The orchestra and choir collaboration is finally upon us. Saturday, December 3rd at 7:30 p.m. in the Performance Arts Center, the PAC. It's a one-night-only collaboration, and conductor James Song says this will be the perfect way to get into the holiday spirit. All right, everyone. So for our interview for entertainment this week, we're actually going to do a little spotlight or a where are they now kind of thing for former Moorpark College Raiders. One student in particular that we have with us today is 21-year-old Martin Rodriguez, who began to make a name for himself in the fashion world. An upcoming designer and owner of the new fashion brand Outstruct, Martin has mixed unique styles with his creative mindset. Thank you so much for joining us here today.
That was
Martin.
such a beautiful intro. Man.
Oh, thank you,
Man.
dude. Thank you. So, Martin, when and why did you start up this brand in the first place?
Well, I was always like into fashion since I was a kid, like probably around 2nd grade, and I would always be the kid who would just like always try to stand out from the crowd. Like everyone would always wear like these simple like Gap and Old Navy T-shirts, and I would like wear like a
That's
Marilyn Manson shirt, you know?
All right,
Yeah,
sweet.
just stuff like that, or like Blink-182, or just something to stand out. And you know, I never really had the motivation to step it up and just make a brand, but literally just last year I finally like figured out a name, and I decided like, hey, why don't I just make clothes now? Because I feel like now's the time. Because like if I get older, like I don't know, I feel like it's not gonna like relate to my audience as much.
Gotta go.
You know,
Gotta do it
Very
now.
true.
yeah.
So, Outstruct. Tell
Yes.
us about where that name came from.
I think that name really came from a lot of it was me just honestly thinking about so many names, because I always had a hard time thinking of a name, because I just wanted to be like Martin Rodriguez himself, but I didn't want to be like Mark Jacobs, you know what I mean? I wanted to do something. I wanted to
Tommy
do something.
Hilfiger?
Yeah, not like that. I didn't want to be like that, you know? So I was thinking, why don't I, figure out a cooler name, something that kind of sounds like a band? Because I've always wanted to be in a band. I'm actually going to learn how to play guitar soon. And, like rock on, right? Like I've just always been a fan of like every genre. So I thought Outstruct would be perfect because it's really short for out of the structure. And I just combined the words together. And then ambiente comes because ambiente means atmosphere in Spanish. And I was just like walking around downtown and I saw the pollution there. And I said, like, why don't I just make my own atmosphere? So
Wow.
that's where
That's
it
a lot
comes
more
from.
thought than I
Yeah,
thought.
So
very
I didn't know,
nice.
man, was there like an older brother, an older cousin that you used to look up to that used to dress really well, and you're like, man, he dresses so cool? Or did the fashion it was yourself?
I just had a lot of cousins who were so diverse, and I think all the influences come from there. Like one of my cousins was super into punk, heavy metal, and then I had another cousin who was like into Lil Wayne and Kanye and Pharrell.
Back in the day when they used to
you
wear
know.
FUBU,
Yeah,
South
FUBU,
Pole,
yeah, all
Echo.
of that.
Do you remember Echo?
Yeah,
Oh.
Mark Echo, dude. Like, man, that guy's crazy. No, but I just got influenced by so many cousins because everyone had like a unique quality and like a different taste of music. So I was just around that all the time. Like I
Right.
would listen to like, Cypress Hill, The System of a Down. And I was just like really into like music. Rock on, dude. Yeah.
So, Martin, for the people listening, they can't see what you have on right now, but
Okay.
Martin's rocking one of his Outstruct jackets.
Yeah.
I want to know what kind of person would be interested in Outstruct.
Okay, yeah. Anyone who's a really huge fan of music, anyone who just loves different cultures and wants to stand out and be out of like the world that they're in, like kind of just like be different. I really embrace uniqueness. I love anyone who's creative and just tries to stand out, their own outcast. Someone who like just wants to stand out of his whole family and just be his own person. He doesn't follow his own rules. He makes his own rules and becomes a better person.
Wow, that's
So
pretty sweet.
anyone who's into that, or anyone who just wants to be a part of the movement, like I'm cool. I'm open to anything.
What movement exactly?
A movement of just being yourself, not being afraid of anything, losing all the fears you have. Like, removing every insecurity one has. Because a lot of people, when they dress up, in fashion, like, they just, what's it called? They, how can I say this? People just, they always dress up just to look cool. But I don't want to be like a brand where it's like you have to look cool. I want to be a brand where it's like for everybody, and like a brand that stands out and that makes everyone feel like they're themselves. Because that's the most important thing, being yourself.
All right. Awesome.
And for anyone who's interested in buying your clothing, where can they go? Do you guys have a store? Are you guys about to get a store? Is there a website? Where's it?
Man, when the funds go up, we're going to have a store.
Yeah, you guys are starting up.
We're
right?
starting up,
Okay.
yeah. But basically what we do have is we have a website online, and you can just go to outstruck.com, and simple, you just go to the shop, and there's all the merch over there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I see, now that we're talking more about the business side of things.
Yeah.
So you're a business major.
Yes.
What can you do to use the knowledge that you've gained in school and relate that to your business, increase sales, stuff like that?
Yeah. I feel like everybody has their own style of marketing, but at the same time, I also feel like people who go to business or become business majors, they want to enhance either a family business or they want to enhance themselves. So what I'm trying to do is basically not get messed up by like any other big corporations that's trying to mess with me. So that's why I want to have the business background.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like marketing, like really, if you think about it, anyone can do marketing. We're all marketing, like we're the ones who figure out what to buy.
Yeah.
So we're literally all like the best at marketing.
Yeah, I
That's
really
awesome.
like this guy, man.
Yeah,
He's so humble,
same,
man.
same.
And I mean,
Thank you.
I've listened to interviews with like people like Nikki Diamonds, Bobby
Yeah, of
Hundreds.
course.
I think that's his name, Bobby.
Yeah, of
Hundreds.
course.
They're all humble and they never forgot where they came from.
Of
so
course,
I
man.
definitely see them in you, man.
Yeah, thank you, man. I really appreciate that. And like anyone who like even buys my stuff, like I just have a good connection, and I always like talk to them like, hey man, you good, like all that stuff. Like I already have like, I'm not gonna say like a fan base, but I have people like loyal customers who actually buy the stuff and like repping in their high schools. And I'm like, wow, that's actually like
Dude,
awesome.
I see it, man. I see a lot of
Yeah.
potential in this
Yeah.
business, man.
Thank you.
And so quickly, Steven's giving us the 1 minute signal over here.
Okay.
We want to know, Francisco's got some brands for you. We want to see what,
right,
yay or
let's
nay.
do it,
on
let's
it.
Yeah,
do
man,
it.
so we got a little
Competition,
game. It's all right. I'm gonna
let's
name
do
a
it.
bunch of streetwear brands,
Okay.
mainly in Fairfax, and you're gonna
Okay.
say yay or nay
Yeah.
as to whether you rock it or not. All right.
Rocket. Okay.
All right. Ready?
Yeah. let's do it.
Atticus,
Yeah. Yay.
Crooks and Castles,
Nay.
Diamond Supply,
Yay.
Pink Dolphin,
Nay.
Supreme,
Yay.
Fog, Fear of God,
Fear of God. Yay. Yay. Yeah.
Undefeated,
Yay.
and is it Stussy? Is that how you pronounce it?
Stussy, yeah.
Stussy.
Yeah. Yay.
And then you got to go back to middle school. Obey.
In middle school, yay, but right now, like,
yeah.
some of the stuff is dope. I'm like in the middle of that. I'll say yay. I'll say
You
yay.
say yay?
All right,
All right,
sweet.
all right,
There
well,
you
we got
guys
it.
go. There you guys go.
Yeah.
Yay on Obey.
Yay
Thank
on
you very
Obey.
much.
All
Thanks for
day.
joining us, Martine. That's
Thank you
awesome
so
to hear.
much.
Good luck with the Outstruct.
Thank you, man.
This is 1015 KMCJ Moorpark College Jams. I'm Steven Suarez, and this is the Student Voice on Air. Coming up is the roundtable discussion, and today we'll be talking about financial pressure for the holiday season and sleep deprivation.
Yeah, a little two kind of related topics because they're both big problems here that Moorpark College students and college students across the country face this time of year. But let's dive into financial pressure to buy gifts for loved ones. Francisco,
Yes.
this brings up a lot of questions here. I want to know, what do you think? Do you think it's socially unacceptable to not buy expensive gifts? I mean, of course, we're going to buy gifts for the people we love, our boyfriend, girlfriend, our brother, sister, parents. But what do you think about expensive gifts? Do you think there's a need to buy such pricey gifts?
I think that, especially with relationships,
So like boyfriend, girlfriend.
boyfriend and girlfriend, that there's like an expectation of what kind of how much money you're supposed to spend.
It's
on-
cultural.
Is there a higher expectation? Like, is the boyfriend supposed to buy a more expensive gift than the girlfriend?
I feel that in social media, it definitely looks that way.
Yeah, in social media.
Yeah, I mean, I remember last year I was looking at this couple who, like, the girlfriend bought the guy the Xbox One,
Okay.
and the boyfriend bought the girl really expensive Victoria's Secret stuff. And all I can think was like, man, like that stuff, like a lot of I would at the time last year I wouldn't have been able to afford that for if I had a girlfriend. So it's just, I feel like it's an expectation. However, it's an expectation that we shouldn't have.
It's unrealistic, right?
It's unrealistic. I mean, you're talking about, like, I have 4 siblings, 2 nieces, a brother-in-law, and my parents. That's just my direct family. What if I want to buy some for my friends? And if I had a girlfriend on top, gosh, I'd be asking for overtime. But I think it's, going back to what you asked, like, I think it's an expectation. I don't think it's necessary, though. I mean, as a kid, they always taught us, and you guys know this, that Christmas is not
it's not about presents.
No,
right?
honestly, it's all about being with your family, getting that feast going. That's the priority. But I do think that there is, I mean, if you have a girlfriend, seeing all those other couples buying those gifts, I feel like it also affects your couple, your partner, because they're like, man, like I'm seeing all these gifts on Instagram.
I'm gonna
like
get something really
yeah,
good,
it's like
right?
I'm
You have
expecting
to get something really
Yeah,
good.
you have to.
It's not I'm going to. It's like in that mindset. Like you have to. Otherwise, you're not living up to what you're supposed to be doing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what about this? So we talk about boyfriend, girlfriend.
Okay.
What about us with our parents? Us, we're around the college age. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I probably haven't put as much money or effort into gifts for my parents as they have over my last 19 years. But now that we're getting to adulthood, do you think, like, when do you think we should start getting more legitimate gifts for our parents?
I think
expensive gifts.
I think once you start working.
Once you start working, like,
Yeah, because
a minimum wage job, career. What do you mean?
I mean, right now, if you have, it all depends on your financial situation. But personally, for me, I was never able to buy anyone gifts until I started working. So I think once you're financially available to buy gifts for your parents, I think besides like your siblings, parents are a priority in nice gifts because of all the whole everything they've done for you and stuff like that. And I know parents are always going to be like, no, I don't want anything.
Yeah, I just
but let's
want
be
you
honest, like you gotta get your parents something nice if you're available. It all depends on your financial situation, but if you can't take it to extremes either. Like, whatever you could afford, the nicest thing you can afford with your situation, then yeah, I think it's.
But Francisco, so I hear you talking about money, stuff about whether you can afford it. Shouldn't gifts be judged on meaning and thoughtfulness, not expense?
It should, but
No.
in today's day and age, it's just not anymore. I mean, you're gonna compare let's say you get socks from your uncle, or your friend got like an Xbox 360 or whatever from his uncle. It should, but I feel like with social media now that we can see, because a lot of people show off what they get. I personally don't do that. Personally,
the December 25th rolls around. Every Instagram picture is just like, oh, new this.
But yeah, I think it is all about the meaning. I mean, the fact that they thought about you, the fact that they put their own time and effort, their own money into you. But I gotta know, where do you stand in this? You're in a relationship right now. Are you expecting something nice from your girlfriend? And be completely honest. Don't be innocent, Andrew. I gotta know what you actually think.
Let me think. So me and my girlfriend, this will be our 3rd Christmas together.
Okay.
Honestly, no, I don't know. I honestly would prefer more thoughtful gift, even like a handwritten letter or something like that, more than just an expensive gift from like the mall or something like that.
Okay.
I think that our relationship is to the point where we don't need to expect expensive things from each other. Not that neither of us could really afford it anyway, but that's basically where we're at. But so this is our 3rd Christmas together. Where do you think, like, let's say there's a lot of people out there that probably been going out since the beginning of the school year.
Right.
So they've only been dating for 4 months, max 5 months. What do you think their expectations are?
Oh, they're probably
like,
so high. Dude.
Do they need to get something really expensive?
I think so, because it's their first Christmas together.
You got to show off.
Yeah, you got to show off. But like you said, you and your girlfriend, you guys been here together 3 years. You guys need to understand each other. And another thing is, going back to students, a lot, like your girlfriend, she lives in Boston, and she's gonna come all the way to California. Plane tickets are not expensive in the holidays.
Yeah, exactly. A visit, which she's doing, that means more to me than
that's
any,
that's an investment right there. So I feel like that also comes into, like, as a college student, this is, I think, when you really see family is the best thing, because you don't care about what your family's getting. You just want to see your family. For
yeah,
the
that's true. That's true. So I'm glad we could end that on a positive note. But let's transition into our second topic for this roundtable discussion. We are talking about something that plagues everyone at Moorpark College and at colleges everywhere: sleep deprivation.
Ooh.
Recommended hours for college students is 8 hours a night.
Okay.
I'm sure everybody here, everyone in the studio,
Everyone knows
probably
that.
did not get 8 hours last night.
Yeah.
I, for one, did not. I wake up at 7 a.m., so I'd have to go to bed at 11 to get 8 hours.
Which doesn't sound horrible, but
I'm never in bed, even by 1,
yeah,
honestly.
and I don't know. I feel like when I go to sleep at 12, wake up at 7, I feel like, oh, it feels like you only slept for 4 hours. You
Yeah,
know?
that's true.
You're just so tired.
Okay, something that I did a little research on this. Something that's important for students to know is, something that I do is I sleep in big spurts. Like I'll sleep 5-6 hours during the week, and then come weekends,
Just knock out.
that's when I'll sleep like 10 hours. I'll oversleep and be like, oh, it averages out. But no, like studies show that you need to have consistent sleeping patterns, not just boil it all down in one big giant weekend or something like that, like a lot of people probably did on Thanksgiving break, including me. But something that a lot of students face is it's not just, oh, I don't have time to sleep. It's like I literally cannot fall asleep. We have so much to worry about: jobs, girlfriends, school, UC apps finishing up, Cal State apps, everything like that. What do you do, Francisco, to help you fall asleep when maybe you're feeling a little like insomnia? You're lying in bed and just like can't fall asleep.
Honestly, I haven't really had that trouble of falling asleep. But when I do, and I know like experts and doctors are going to go against this, but Netflix, man. I just turn on The Office, look at a random episode from The Office, and just go to sleep.
Yeah, well, studies have shown like movies, watching TV, reading is also
Yeah.
a big one. That could help you put you into that sleeping
One thing I
mood.
have heard, though, a lot is stop using any sort of technology, whether it be computer, laptop, phone,
Really, you've
tablet,
heard that?
an hour before you go to sleep.
Really? Is it?
Yeah.
Do you think it has to do with the like brightness?
I think it's because I think it's your.
It's something called the blue light, actually. So our phones and our laptops and our tablets and even some of our TVs emit a blue light that in the way that it's not so much the brightness as it is the stimulation that it creates on your eyes is bad. And that's also why people's eyesight gets bad, is because of this blue light.
Ooh.
Yeah, and so that's why even worse at night, because it does keep you awake.
Yeah.
So it's a combination of that brightness and that blue light.
And one thing I do know that is really bad. Do you guys ever just wake up at 4 a.m? Your phone's right next to you. You just want to check the time.
Check Twitter, something like that.
Yeah. I don't know why we do it. I don't know why, but I do it, and I know my mom yells at me when she catches me doing it. Just that brightness in your eye, just.
You're feeling, and all of a sudden it's hard to get back
but
to
I don't
sleep.
know.
Huh?
I don't know if you know how this has ever happened to you, but you have a full day of classes, work, you do your homework, and then right before you go to sleep, you're just like, you know what? I haven't gone on any social media. I feel like I gotta check social
Yeah, I
media.
deserve it.
Yeah, I deserve it before I go to sleep. I don't think it's a good idea though.
Nah.
But
Will
we learn? Will we learn?
I don't know. But Francisco, here's one specific point on this. So a lot of students here, Moorpark, they plan to go to a 4-year soon.
Right.
If you're having trouble falling asleep in community college, where you probably live in a comfortable house, probably in the house you grew up in, do you think it's going to be difficult, or just as difficult, or even worse when you go off to a 4-year and you're living with a bunch of students your age, you're living in a dorm?
I think it's gonna be a lot more difficult because
Same.
at home you get that privacy away from your friends. And I've talked to you, Andrew. You went to a 4-year before. You do get a little strip of privacy taken away from you.
You do.
And it's not like here where you have your own room. Everyone stop making noise.
And you have a roommate. Like
do
my
have a
roommate was
roommate.
quiet, but like just
That's
knowing there's
1 in
another
100.
person
Yeah.
in the room, it's hard to fall asleep sometimes.
It is, and it's weird because you're just like, and sleepovers. You don't want to be the first one to fall asleep.
Yeah.
But like, do you feel comfortable like going to sleep in front of your
I do.
roommate?
I mean, I remember the first night. So I was a freshman. Arrive at UC Irvine dorm. So you meet my roommate, super cool guy. We clicked instantly. But it's weird. It is weird. Like this guy who I've never met. We're just roommates now. Like it was strange. And I think it did affect my sleep patterns, especially because the first couple months in a 4 years, really exciting time. There's a lot going on. You feel like you finally made it out of Moorpark. And you're just constantly hyped. Or at least I was. It definitely affects sleeping patterns too.
So, is everyone up late in a 4-year? How is it?
Francisco, so how my dorm was set up is there's a common room, which most of them are. When you're supposed to be sleeping, you're supposed to be getting those 8 hours, like maybe 11 to 7. Kids are playing pool, kids are watching TV, kids are yelling, kids are drinking, coming back. It's a lot more difficult to get the recommended sleep at a 4-year.
Now, for students who will be leaving to their 4-year, maybe next semester or next fall, what do you do? Like, what can you do to get away from that? I mean, do you just sleep in a car? Do you go to the park? Like,
No, I think you just gotta fight through it the first couple weeks you're there. Eventually, hopefully by midterms or finals, you'll be getting used to it. I think it all works out in the end for everybody, but it's definitely, it'll take something getting used to.
just put some headphones on, go to sleep, listen to some nice
a lot of
music.
people did headphones. So for people looking to make some good habits before heading off to those 4 years, next semester, the Student Health Center, we talked to Allison Barton, the health educator.
Right.
She said that a big focus of next semester will be on lack of sleep, how to get more sleep, stuff like that for students. And hey, we already pay for it, so let's use it.
Right.
Well, thanks, guys. This has been a lot of fun.
Thank you,
Just the three
Steven.
of us today.
Yeah, one more to go, guys.
One more to go on the semester.
So thank you to Francisco Molina and Andrew Mason for keeping us informed. This has been the Student Voice on Air, a radio show and podcast written, hosted, edited, and produced by journalism and FTVM media students at Moorpark College. For additional news and information, please log on to the Student Voice webpage at studentvoiceonline.com. That's studentvoiceonline.com. I'm Steven Suarez. Thanks for listening and being informed. This is 1015 KMCJ, Moorpark College Jam.